Hello and welcome to another video. I'm Voorhees Retro 81 and welcome back to the Let's Play of Heretic. Now, this is the... Ooh, better deal with these guys before I go rambling and wombling. How dare you interrupt my waffle? I should kill you dead! Now that little brief bit of excitement did illustrate one thing I've been talking about earlier. Hello. That the Invisible Knights will largely use... Oh, here we go again. The Blood Axe attack, which is unpleasant and painful if you get caught in the butt with it. Nowadays, I don't find them as complicated to deal with as I used to as a teenager, because I'm much more used to strafing, and strafing has become much more the norm. That does lead nicely into discussing what control system I'm using for this, because that's been discussed in comments. I am using the default keyboard controls, which I find easier, but then I've taught myself how to play with these. Well, I say taught, I played from the get-go with these when I first played the game, with the exception of strafing, which, as I've mentioned before, I didn't really understand what strafing was, so I didn't do it. So, I mean, make of that what you will. When I was a kid, I did eventually beat this whole game. Warts and all, extra episodes and all, without strafing. And nowadays, it's that interesting debate as a long-time gamer. That interesting debate of, am I better or worse than I was when I was a kid? And I would say it varies. I would say with Heretic and a lot of the older games, I probably play more sustainably than I used to be. Now, what I mean by that is, I play with more of an eye towards resource management. So, just in case anybody didn't see it happen, because I did it a bit fast over there. The gold key is in here. Does that come down as well? No. Okay. That's not a secret. Somewhere I've unleashed some imps, because I can hear them fluttering around. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so I would say I'm, by and large, I'm better at this game than I was when I was a kid. I play it more accurately, and I play it more strategically. But at the same time, because I play it more strategically, I do find that actually, because I'm playing to reserve ammunition, and I'm not using items when I don't have to, all these kind of things, I find that I probably take more damage. And I definitely play less aggressively than I did when I was younger. So I don't know. It's always kind of a weird experience. I mean, also there are areas of this game that I know very well, and then there are other areas that, you know, I've not got a clue, but I can get lost in quite quickly. And the strange thing about this stage particularly is this is a stage that for some reason my brain remembers as being in one of the later episodes. And I remember it distinctly. I remember that area with the blue key door in the large sort of courtyard. I remember that really, really distinctly from when I was young. But I remember it being later in the game, and I don't remember it as a secret level. I don't remember it as being something that I had to figure out how to get to. I just remember it as being a level in this general succession of the game. For some reason my brain is having a little, like, I think there's a trap somewhere here. I don't know if there is or not. I think it's just dark, which is as good as a trap in this game anyway, because when things get dark, they get really dark in this game. Like, I can't see dark. I mean, one of the things from a control point of view that I tend to do is, if I have, you know, specifically with PC games, I tend most of the time to use the keyboard for, you know, non-analog games, and I'll add the mouse in if the game is analog. But I tend not to go crazy trying to set things up with, like, you know, modern controls. So, you know, using a control pad on something that, you know, doesn't require wouldn't have previously involved me using a controller. I certainly, it's definitely a big trend at the moment for, and I understand it completely, and I support it, in fact, you know, because as I've covered in other videos, I do have some problems with my joints, and, you know, when you've got things like that going on, you know, as I get older, those problems are getting worse. So, you know, I think from a development point of view, it's very good for developers. We're releasing. Oh God, I'm getting right. Okay, let's have that. Let's get rid of that guy quickly, because whoa, there's a lot of these guys. Any more? Probably could have done with that ring of, legged it down there to get that ring of invincibility, but we'll just dump a bunch of quartz flasks. I don't know why well, I suppose it's because it's the bads flinging the red axes about. But yeah, I think the better, you know, optional control support you can have in a game, you know, the better the game's going to be, the more people are going to be able to play it. But I kind of have an approach to my attitude to not having keyboard control on a PC game is you're doing it wrong, effectively, from a development perspective. You know, I feel like any game that's going to be brought onto the PC should have good keyboard and or mouse control straight off the bat. And then, you know, if it can handle an Xbox 360 controller or multiple different controllers, then that's great as well, because some people will need to use those to play your game properly. I'm not talking a great deal about this level because I have to be frank, I'm a little bit here we go. A little bit fuzzy about it. But yeah, so effectively, from my angle, if I know how to play a game on a keyboard, and that's how I learned how to play it, that's how I'll generally want to play it. Oh, there we go. And that's how I'll generally be comfortable playing it. On the other hand, if I get used to playing it on a controller, then I will prefer to play it on the controller. That's kind of how I roll generally with control setups. And this game specifically, I've always played it on keys, always. You know, strafing notwithstanding. There is a problem with this version of it, which is the Steam version that goes through, that pumps through DOSBox. If you press multiple buttons, it's possible to effectively kick yourself out to Windows by mistake, because of all the DOSBox doesn't lock out Windows, especially Windows 10. I can't remember whether it did it in Windows 7, which was what I had prior to Windows 10, but especially in Windows 10, DOSBox does not block out the control input from your keyboard being read by Windows. So that can be a concern. I know some people who have been watching the videos have been playing it through a sort of open source modded version, so I don't know if that's an issue with that. That might also, as far as I'm aware, this does not have controller support, but I think it's got native mouse support. Don't quote me on that. I've never tried to use it myself, so in terms of games like this that I use the mouse on, it's really only 3D Realms, Monoliths, Blood that I tend to use the mouse on. So anyway, that's my control rambling. And as you could probably see with the secret level is kind of quite small on this stage, on this episode even. I cannot remember if I'm going to be able to get to the secret levels on the other episodes, because my knowledge of them, the further we get into the game, the frequency with which I've replayed the episodes gets smaller. So we'll see what happens there anyway. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall catch you later on. Peace out.